Hello everyone, this is Fabian once again, and today, once again, we are talking about my book, but we have now moved on to the third section of the book, the short story section. I only really want to talk about two of these because they're probably one of the better ones, and they also have a very interesting story to them. So, Mr. Fabian, our prompt for this one was the as you can see, Penn Ohio coach has suddenly gone missing. That very first sentence. That was our prompt. I didn't know who they were, so I just made up some name, and you had to explain how they went missing or something like that. And this was what came out of it. It's one of my better ones. It also does introduce Lithia and the Jackal's assassin. From one of my longer stories, Quickthorn. Now, but this story is not canon to Quickthorn at all. This was before I decided on the current version of Quickthorn, so just keep that in mind when you are reading this, but it is kind of interesting that I was using that sort of idea, and I was also using Aloe Catchers and Dragon Guard, which is from my other story, Dragon Guard, which is a much, once again, longer story, but once again, it's not canon to that story. I was just using different elements, so I thought that was interesting, and I wanted to explain that. And then the other one I wanted to talk about within the short stories is Mechdroids. Now, this whole story was based off of one of my colorings that I did with those mechanical birds. I believe I've shown it on a previous video. I will link that down below, or the story post or whatever. And that whole coloring is what inspired this little short story. And it's one of my slightly longer ones, and I do really enjoy it. It's very different, but I just thought it was interesting to see that, you know, a coloring that I did inspired it, and I very much drew them. The older one, in that one that like looks kind of rusty looking, is supposed to be Balt's, yeah, that's his name, Balt's teacher, his professor, the person that taught him growing up, and then Balt is supposed to be the like gray, more metal, newer looking one, and then the red creepy one in the coloring is supposed to be the elder. I think they're elders. Yeah, that's what they are. So that's what that one is, and I just thought it was interesting to convey that. But yeah, so that's all for the short stories. I will be moving on to the short story collections next, and I hope you have enjoyed this little series so far.